everyone. We are Allison and Amber, and together we have a business. It's called The Social Guiders, and we both have an extensive background in social media marketing. And so, it's a little bit about us, and Amber's going to go a little bit more in depth about our story.
I'm Amber. I'm a local business owner here in Paducah. I know many of you may know I own Piper's Tea and Coffee in the Foxborough Cocktail Bar with my husband. So we've been in business, since 2015 now. When we first opened, even till now, I'm the one who has done all of our social media marketing. And it's kind of been like a work in progress of finding out how the best strategies are, testing, and all of that stuff. And so over time, I've worked with a lot more other businesses. And as sort of the demand with my businesses became bigger and bigger, I wanted to find a way to sort of bring everything I've learned to some sort of framework that I can teach other people or give to them so that they could implement it into their strategy. And so that's when I reached out to Allison. She's a really a fellow social media marketer. And I just said, hey, I have this idea. Let's build this framework together. Like, what have you found that works for your customers and clients? And we saw a lot of similarities, didn't we? So we came together, we put it all together in sort of this framework, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So you guys are ready. We will jump into our training. We have slides for you guys. Okay.
So as I said, Piper's was our first business. We opened in 2015. We actually launched online first and then did pop-ups here in town before we opened up in May of 2015. And so years before we opened our business in the coffee shop, I kind of spent a lot of time writing business plans, doing a lot of DIYing, bootstrapping, all of that thing. Google and YouTube really became my business mentors. So I got my hands on anything I possibly could to learn about marketing and building a strong foundation for our business. And I really quickly realized that was the part of the business I really, really enjoyed and was most passionate about. So I started just testing what would work, staying up to date with all the changes with social media, like the algorithms, which I'm guessing, a lot of you guys are probably asking, that's really hard to keep up with as a business owner. But, looking back, I was doing all the things. I was jumping on the trends. And then I finally started actually being intentional, analyzing what was working. So I went deeper, did a ton of research. And so once I started focusing on what was working for our businesses, I noticed patterns were emerging, systems and process were being established, and I started putting into place a process that got consistent results for our business. And so we grew our business with social media marketing alone, and our business has generated 6 figures every year since we opened. So other small business owners, like I said, started kind of coming to me for advice, hire me to handle their social media marketing. And I was curious. I was like, okay, could the same systems that I found that worked for us work for other people? And they did. So I kind of thought, okay, maybe I'm onto something here that I can, maybe put together. So I couldn't spend as much time as our businesses grew helping other business owners, but I still wanted to help them in some way. And both Alice and I are really passionate about helping small business owners, especially brick and mortar, because there's not as much information out there, usually for online businesses. So I reached out to Allison, and that's, we put everything we've kind of learned over the last, 10 years combined, all of this stuff into a framework that we could teach to small brick and mortar business owners so they could find success with their social media as well. So the main struggle we really noticed was that business owners were struggling with consistently turning their followers into customers and getting those followers to turn into customers. Especially because, you have the added, trouble with brick and mortars of actually getting people to come into your store. So there's that added thing. So we decided to bring everything we had learned, we had tested, and everything that had worked together. And that's when our follower to customer framework was born.
All right. So Amber and I did a lot of market research when we decided that we wanted to put together a program or a training of sorts to help small businesses with their social media. And we found by speaking with dozens and dozens of small business owners, both locally and across the US, that there were 3 lies that they were often told about social media. Okay, the first lie is that branding is only for looks and ends with the logo. So we found that that's actually not true. Branding is a lot more in depth about that. And Amber, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so that was something that I noticed for us from the beginning was a huge deal because we really went all in with the branding, our logo, our aesthetics, and and translated that onto our social media. And people, you could tell people were connecting with that. So yeah, it became something, having the brand story, really like putting out there why we were doing what we were doing, and sort of translating our passion into our social media presence.
So the second lie is social media is for advertising. So therefore, it's best to post only to sell or to promote. This couldn't be further from the truth. Social media at the core is social. So it's supposed to be engaging. It's supposed to be a way to connect with people. And you can't connect with people if you're just trying to sell to them all the time. So oftentimes, though, this is something common we have seen with small businesses when they use social media. So for us, we found that actually you need a good balance between value based posts in addition to promotional posts, because you do need to have those posts. You just don't want to have them all the time. But if you have that good balance, then you're giving to your followers and then they start to like, know, and trust you. And therefore, then they'll turn from follower into actually a paying customer for your business. And the third lie is the more followers that I have, the more successful I would be. I know we hear this one all the time, and we heard this very frequently that small businesses believe that, oh, if they would just get thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and therefore they would be successful. And that's what social media success was evaluated by. But that's actually not true. And more so, we really figured out, from our experience, Amber's businesses, and me working with small businesses who were clients of mine, that it's really about quality over quantity. So therefore, if you have the right people and you connect with the right people and you form these relationships online with them, then therefore it's more likely that they're going to turn into a customer. And at the end of the day, that's what is going to impact your bottom line. So that's why you're using social media as an advertising platform for. So that is what we also uncovered through all of that research. Okay, so all of these lies came together to form these truths that helped us form our 3-part framework. So we call this the follower to customer blueprints, and you'll see why. So we like to demonstrate this by building a house. So we call this your social media house. And it is going to tell you a little bit about how to take a follower and turn them into a customer. All right, so first, when you're building a house, you have to have a solid foundation. And in social media, what this is going to be is your business brand. It's your voice, it's your values, it's your vision, and it's your visual. So if you have a strong and consistent brand that's translated online to social media, then therefore you have a strong foundation. Next is your frame. When you're framing your social media house, this is when you're going to identify your customer. It's when you're going to figure out who your business is actually speaking to, because these are going to be the right people that you want to turn from follower into customer. And it's also going to be what transformation they will experience within your business. So that is your overall frame when it comes to social media. Okay, and next we're going to start putting up your walls. So the walls for social media is translating your business branding story and experience onto social media to connect with the right people. So this is where that value-based content that I touched on comes into play, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. All right, and this is a fun part. This is your decor. So now you get to decorate your social media house, and this is identifying what to post, when to post, and how to post. So it's going to help you tell your brand story and engage with the right people on social media to help grow your customer base. And you're going to do that all through these different types of posts that you're going to create. And finally, the curb appeal. So we're going to add the beautiful landscape, and in social media terms, that's amplifying your brand story, the business services and offerings with growth strategies. So we're going to touch on how you're going to grow your engagement and grow your following with Facebook and Instagram, and evaluate the results overall so that you know what has been successful and what you want to repeat in the following months to come. All right, so this all comes together for our follower to customer framework. So the first part of the framework is we're going to create that strong customer brand. The second part of the framework is we are going to connect with the right people through posts that are both value-based and promotional. And the third part of the framework is we're going to cultivate your following of the right people who will turn from follower to customers. We're just going to amplify all your efforts so you're growing in engagement and growing in following of the right people. So again, by doing this, you're going to speak to the right people and you're going to build a trusting relationship with them on social media. So therefore, they turn from follower to customer. Because remember, you have to start by they first have to know you as a business and they have to like you as a business and then they have to trust you as a business before they turn into a customer.
All right, so how do we consistently attract these people, build this trusting relationship with them, and then turn them into loyal customers? So we're going to deep dive into each part of our framework, and the first part is creating a solid, strong, and consistent brand for your business. It's really the foundation on which everything else in your social media strategy is built upon. And as a small brick and mortar, locally based business, a branding is just as important as it is for large companies and is more than just a logo, as we talked about before. So having a strong and consistent brand across social media is so important for any business for multiple reasons. So as a brick and mortar, it's especially important since people have to make that extra decision and first step of actually walking into your business. So whether you're like a boutique, a coffee shop, a restaurant, or any other type of brick and mortar store. So they have to be like, by having consistent branding, your business looks more trustworthy and professional and keeps you top of mind. Your message is clear to your audience. You have your clear voice, a meaningful purpose, and people recognize your online personality. You become more memorable as it helps people to differentiate from other brands and businesses similar to you. And it creates this instant identity for your business, which means people become familiar with you and your brand, leading back to the trust factor. And it helps you with content creation and capture writing that actually connects with those people that you actually want as a customer. And so the bottom line, you stand out more and are on potential customers top of mind when they think about needing the type of product or service you offer. So again, attracting the right people who will turn from follower to customer. So who are the right people? So these are followers who will know, like, trust your social media accounts and support and buy from your business.
So before we go any deeper on creating a consistent, memorable, and trustworthy brand, I want to answer an important question. What is a brand? More often than not, when people hear the word brand, they think it's a business's logo and the visual elements. And yes, a logo is a really important part of branding, but the main difference between the two is that a logo identifies your business, but the branding tells its story. So a brand is the true personality behind the business. So now that we've established what a brand is, let's take a look at the 4 major components of building a brand which fall under these 4 main categories. Brand values, the how, what, and why of your business. Brand vision, what differentiates you, who do you serve, and the benefits. Number 3, brand voice, so your mission statement, brand personality, and story. And number 4, brand visuals, the logo, colors, fonts, photography, and design style. So our brand values define our brand's purpose. To determine this, I like to use leadership expert Simon Sinek's the golden circle concept of what, how, and why. So the what is what do you sell? How is how do you do it that makes you unique? And then the why is why do you do what you do? So typically someone might say money, but money is actually the result. So why is a purpose, cause, or belief? It's the very reason your business exists. So Sinek's theory is that communicating your why taps into the part of the listener's brain that influences behavior. His main point behind the concept is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. By finding out your how, what, and why, and being able to articulate that onto your social media reflects your passion behind your business, and that can be felt by others, leading to inspire and influence them to purchase from your business. With brand vision, this reflects and supports your brand strategy, differentiates you from competitors, and resonates with your customers, energizing and inspiring your employees if you have them, and sparks ideas for social media marketing. So to determine our brand vision, we can ask ourselves these 3 questions. What differentiates you? So your unique selling point. Who is your target customer audience? This is a chance to get really specific on who that is. And number 3, what problem do you solve for them? What key qualities and benefits do you offer? Becoming very clear on these aspects of your brand's vision is another key piece of the branding puzzle to create a strong, trustworthy brand for your business that will speak to the right people on social media that will become your followers and then customers. The key thing to remember when aligning your brand vision with your brand values is to focus on the solution you are providing and the problem you are solving for your target customers. In turn, your target customers will align with your values if you're providing a solution to their problem and will choose your business to support. It all goes back to that core why of the golden circle, to your purpose and why you wake up every day and do what you do. Customers aren't looking for another cookie cutter business that offers the same thing as everyone else. They are looking for an experience tailored to their needs, backed by genuine personal interaction. And this is where your brand voice and brand personality really shine through. The key is to be consistent with your brand voice and personality across all online platforms and offline as well. That way, the experience you create in store and online can be felt whether they come into your business or interact with you on social media. At the end of the day, people want to feel like they are connecting with and supporting a real person. If your brand doesn't have a voice or personality, it makes it difficult for people to genuinely connect and want to come into your business.
So let's go over some of the pieces of the puzzle to make a strong brand voice. So we've got the mission statement. So this is the promise to your customer. The brand voice is kind of like the tone, so how you communicate with your customers. Brand personality. This is like, everyone has a personality, even a business. So think of it like a set of human characteristics that are attributed to your brand that the consumer can relate to. And then lastly, your brand story. So this is your consistent narrative that encompasses the facts and feelings created by your brand language. And it's an opportunity to communicate on a human level, making a direct emotional impact and connection with your customers. So what this means is that the language you use should be understood immediately while striking an emotional chord with the person. And so when creating the brand story, don't just talk about what your product or service can do, but why it's important to the customer. So these branding building blocks will continue to create that strong foundation that we were talking about before and make sure you're well on your way to creating a trustworthy and standout brand. We are now on the last V, the visuals, or the brand aesthetic, as it's kind of commonly referred to. And when you think about building a brand, visuals probably come to mind first. And here we are sort of, at the end of talking about the branding aspect before we've even talked about the visuals. So this is why I'm really passionate about talking to fellow small business owners about the importance of building this full brand for your business and what it entails. So as Jenna Kutcher, she is an entrepreneur marketing expert. She puts it really well. When you partner a strong visual presence with a clear voice, a beating heart, and a true recognizable personality, you will truly make a greater impact and see bigger results. So here are the elements that make up that strong visual presence. We have the logo, your colors and fonts, and I highly suggest only picking 2 to 3 main ones to use for your business so that it's much easier for you to create content that way and stay consistent across all platforms. Choosing a photography style, whether that's light, dark, moody, or airy, sort of go on Pinterest, see what sort of stands out to you. And that makes it easier to know what you like. So therefore you will find it easier to create that content. And then the brand styling guide. So this puts everything in one place. So I know many of you may already have a lot of your brand visuals for your business. If you do, I would suggest putting them all in a brand styling guide like you see here on the right. So this is like a one-page visual document that supports all your marketing initiatives. So it assures that everything is lined up with your business goals, aesthetics, values, vision, and your voice. So once you have all the elements finalized and put into your guide, you'll be able to effectively and consistently communicate the fullness of your brand online with social media and also offline in your business. So your target customers should be able to recognize you whether they interact online or offline. It should be like this seamless transition from one to the other, the customer feeling like they've had a similar experience. All right, so when it comes to translating your brand on social media, here are some key points to remember. So, use the same logo, colors, and fonts, on Instagram and Facebook. And you'll notice we talk a lot about Instagram and Facebook. Those are our 2 main platforms that we found that really help small brick and mortar and locally based businesses. So your mission statement should be communicated on Instagram and Facebook in the bios and in the pages. The name of your page after that little @ symbol and on your Facebook page should be set the same on both platforms. It makes it much easier for people to find you. Also, using a branded hashtag or tagline. For Pipers, we have the hashtag the first Pipers. This is just something fun to kind of create a community around, and you can add this to your social media profiles. And then contact information. Make this so obvious and accessible. And if you have a website link of any sort, make sure it's also in your Instagram and Facebook profiles. Okay, so we know this may all sound kind of overwhelming, time consuming, or a lot of work, but we have found one of the best tools really for branding, design, content creation, and it's our number one in our tool belt is Canva. And so it just makes it really easy to stay consistent. You can actually create a brand styling kit in Canva that has all your fonts, your colors, and it just makes it really easy to interchange any of the templates they already have to fit your business. All right, I'm gonna hand it over to Allison for part 2.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the second part of what we teach in the framework, which is the connect. So with this part, we're going to go over how to use value-based and promotional content to connect with the right people who will turn from follower into customer. All right, so the way that I create value-based content is like Amber mentioned, we both have done this for a while, and I work with lots of different social media clients and lots of different businesses to implement their social media. And so what I found is what social media needs is value-based content that follows what I call the 3 E's. So the 3 E's help me with my clients and help small businesses that I teach create high quality and diverse value-based social media posts. So these are posts that are engaging, entertaining, and educational. We'll talk a little bit about each one of those. All right, so first, this is an example of an engaging type of a post, and just a couple of things that I have posted that's worked well. So the intent of these types of value-based posts, remember, value-based, we're giving to your audience and we're not promoting anything, is just to get people to respond in some type of an engagement. So that can mean a like, it can mean a comment or a share. It could mean all 3 of those. It just depends on what your intention is with the post. So I asked the question, what is your biggest frustration with social media? And I got lots of comments, which was my goal with that. And then this was a viral engagement post that I found and decided to use on my profile as well. What are the 3 words do you see? And then I pointed out which words I saw, and then lots of people came in the comments and told me the 3 words that popped out to them, which was really fun. So both of these gained a lot of comments, which is what I was looking for. All right, so for this value-based post, the entertainment, these are always fun. And I think this goes back to the core of social media being just social. That and the engagement type of posts tend to do that. So with this, the sole purpose of these posts is really just to entertain your audience, is to offer something fun. And usually when I do these, the goal is to get them to share it to their own social media pages. So the one on the left did really well, got some good feedback from that one. Again, this is all related back to my social media business. So I said, what people see about social media and what they don't see. And a lot of people resonated with that one. And then the one on the right was just really fun. Again, another viral post I saw about Jennifer Aniston deciding to join Instagram, and it just blew everybody out of the water, as you can tell. Which was really fun. So just posted that just to be fun and pull it back to the type of industry that my business is in. All right. And then the educational value-based post is simply to educate your audience. So on the left-hand side, this is a post that I did to educate my target audience about the work that I have done. So a lot of times that's a question I'll get. What are some examples of the work that I've done? So I created this Instagram grid for one of my clients, and I wanted to showcase that. So that's what that did. It was a video of the grid on Instagram. The middle was a video that I did. It was just questions about hashtags. And again, I literally just gave a ton of value and answered some questions that I commonly get about hashtags. And then the third post on the right-hand side was about a free virtual summit. So again, it's just to educate my audience and just to give to them in some way that is educational. So that is the overall intent of the goal with this type of a value-based post. All right, so when it comes to the 3 E's, I always ask myself when I'm creating the value-based post, does my value-based post include at least one of the 3 E's? Because we may have been going through the examples and you may have been thinking, oh, but that could have also been an entertainment as well as an engaging post. And that's true. So I always try to get at least one of the three E's included in all of my value-based posts, but sometimes they will include all three of them and could touch and be a topic of all three of the E's. So that's important as well. All right. So this is a great way just to check to make sure that your captions are on point and they're high quality. So first you can ask yourself, is this caption educational? Because again, keep in mind you want at least one of the three E's in every value-based post. So you can check that. Is the caption engaging? Is the caption entertaining? And then you can ask, am I giving people a reason or a way to respond? Because remember, we want people to take action when we're making a post. That could mean some type of an engagement, like a like, comment, or share, or it can mean even getting them just to step through the doors of your business by offering that call to action, which we'll talk a little bit more in the promotional posts. And then finally, would my ideal customer find it interesting? Because that's really important to keep in mind with every social media post that you're making. You're not making it for yourself. You're not making it even for the benefit of your own business. You're making it for the benefit of the people that you serve with your business. So keep that in mind through every single post and ask yourself if this is something that your target audience would find interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about promotional posts. These are the posts that most small business owners want to make, and I do recommend including them. Just have a good balance between the value-based posts that you create with the three E's and the promotional posts that are intended to actually get your followers to take an action, usually related to a sale when it comes to your business. So when it comes to the promotional post, I like to format them very specifically. So first, I'm going to start with a hook. You have to remember that people's attention span on social media is very, very short. So you have to get them to stop. And usually you can do this with a question, with a controversial statement, however you feel like is going to work best for your business and your target audience that you're speaking to. But start with a hook. And then you want to provide the information that someone would want to know about the product or service. This is the information anyone would need to know before they would take further action. So it doesn't have to be everything, but just that core information that you feel like is important for them to know before they would walk into your door to want to see the product in person. And then finally, you want to end with a very clear call to action, to the point that oftentimes I will end and create that call to action with the address of my business. If I know I'm speaking to an audience that may have never been through the doors of my business before. If you're more service-based, you might want to have people call your phone number. So make sure you add your phone number to the post. Again, keep in mind, people's attention span on social media and their habits on social media. They're quickly scrolling through and they don't have a ton of time to sit with it. So you don't want to have them to guess for anything that they might want to know about. You want to provide all of the information very clearly and easily for them. Okay, so I did want to put in kind of a disclaimer about these posts is that they should not feel salesy or slimy or desperate. I see this often, and these posts just simply don't work. Because remember, you're at the end of the day, social media is social, and you're giving to your target audience and the people, the right people that will turn from follower into customer by engaging with them, by forming a relationship on social media with them so that you can get them to know, like, and trust you so that they will come into the doors or step through the doors of your business and purchase from you. So that's really important to note. So if you create this post and you feel like it feels salesy or slimy or desperate, go back and try to recreate it in a way that doesn't feel that way. So I wanted to go over a couple of examples of what a promotional post would look like because there's a lot of pieces to it. So I either, like I said, I like to start my hook as a controversial statement or as a question. In this case, I used a question. So why is good sleep important? So hopefully that grabs the attention of the target audience as it's designed to do. And then I put the info. So the info is the bulleted points. The bulleted points more so answer the question, but they are information that's important. And then you go into why this is important. Why is good sleep important? So, well, it's going to reduce your chances of getting sick. It's going to promote healthy weight, and it's going to reduce stress and boost your mood. So then you go into sometimes we need support to get a restful night's sleep. Melatonin is a supplement that can help promote sleep by setting our internal clock. So you're giving substance to why you're asking this question and that information someone would want. And then you're going to end with that call to action. So in this case, I say, Stop by our store, and our team of health experts can help you find the supplement that best meets your sleeping needs. So, again, you could end with your address if you wanted to. You can simply say, stop by our store, or you can include your phone number if you feel like that is relevant as well. Okay, here's another example. So I decided the hook should be more of a controversial statement and a bold statement. So I went with check off your Christmas list early and get them the gift they really want this year on shoes. And then the information that is important to the target audience before they will take action. So we offer the widest variety of on shoes in Paducah and have several men and women's styles, sizes, and colors. Our customers will often buy a pair of these shoes and come back for a second and even third pair. They're that comfortable. So now you hopefully have your target audience saying, great, that sounds good. I want to know more about this and I want to actually see them in person. So then I put the call to action at the end, stop by and see us. We're located at, and then you can add your address there. If you want to go the extra mile, you could even add in your business hours, which is also helpful.
So we're now into part 3 of the framework. We've taken you through part 1, which is creating that strong brand foundation, and part 2 about posts that are consistent content that connects, and now we're ready to cultivate and grow your following. So we've got that strong foundation, the walls and the roof for the house, and we're now ready to add the curb appeal and decor too. So I'm going to go over 3 different organic sort of key ones. There's quite a few, but we're going to just cover about 3 for Instagram and 3 for Facebook. And these are all strategies that are completely free to do. And we believe if they're done on a regular basis, they can have a really great impact on your efforts and time spent on social media for your business to cultivate your followers into customers. But before we dive in, kind of what defines Facebook and Instagram growth? So for many, it's sort of the numbers of followers they have and gain, which we kind of talked about earlier. And while this is a potential and seemingly quick indicator of growth, it's not really the be all and end all of it. So it's truly not about the numbers, but what you do with the numbers you have. So also as a small brick and mortar business or locally based business, we want the right followers, who actually are going to connect with our brand, who are actually going to come into our store and therefore become our customers. So this may not mean having the thousands and thousands of followers or trying to go viral, but the ones you do have being like avid, loyal fans and supporters of your business. So what is the best indicator for growth on social media? So for us, the best indicator is the engagement you get on your social media pages. So how many people are taking the time to like your posts and comment on them? How many conversations are you having in like the comment section or in your direct messages or private messages you get on Facebook? How many people are talking about your business? So are they tagging you in their stories or in their posts? How many people are coming into your business because of a post, they've seen on social media? How often is your content getting saved and shared? And by having a combination of all these increased account engagement, brand exposure, and your compelling, consistent content, you will then start to see this increase in the right followers that translate into more customers and sales. So what are the best ways to get and increase organic engagement? So I wanted to go over just some fundamental growth strategies real quick. 1, posting quality content. This is really key. The quality, it's truly quality over quantity, and also like keeping your target customer in mind and what they want and they want to see, and what is helpful for them. Number 2, posting on a consistent basis. We really do say to try and post 3 to 5 times a week. If you get into we say to start there if you're struggling to post on a regular basis, and then try and get into the mode of posting once a day, if you can, or at least using Instagram stories or Facebook stories in between posting. So 3, vary your content type. Like I also talked about the 3 E's, whether they're all engaging, entertaining, or educational, just, vary it up. Number 4, we highly suggest this sort of formula of posting like value, and then selling. So like we talked about, not selling in every post, but in the value-based posts as well, like telling your story, reminding people of your why, maybe sharing testimonials or talking about your employees, highlighting your employees. People love to connect emotionally. So telling those stories about maybe what's happened in your store or things of that nature. Number 5, posting during like midday or 6 p.m. Those really are the key times that your audience are probably going to be on. But this is something you can test as well, depending on your business. Like Allison went over with the captions, using the hook, give the insight and information, and encouraging the engagement with a call to action at the end. And the call to action is really important. It doesn't always have to be like, call us, email us, but just really, it can be a question to try and get them to answer it in comment section. And then number 7, using Facebook's and Instagram's latest features. This really is key for Instagram. Anytime Instagram introduces a new feature, they actually give priority to the content that's created with it. So right now it's Instagram Reels. So those are, if you're doing really engaging ones, they will put the algorithm will actually put those at the top. And people are seeing a lot of results with that. So just have fun, play with them, do polls, anything to, make it easy for your followers to engage with you is really the key too. All right, so here are 3 more ways to grow your Instagram engagement and following for free. So number 1 is hashtags. So with hashtags, you can use up to 30 on each post, and I highly suggest using all of those if you can. I tend to always use a mix of niche. So when I talk about niche, like hashtags related to your business. So as you can see here, all of these are coffee related. And then I have a few location based, like we're taking a Duke up Duke Life, and there's plenty more that you can use as well. So I usually place the most relevant hashtag in the caption, and then I put others in the comment of the post. As you can see here, the numbers from the hashtags, it says 4,297. That's how many impressions I got just from people searching the post from hashtags. So I wanted to show you guys that example, how important it really is. So like I said, so place the most relevant in the caption. So I do our but first pipers in most of all of our posts, and maybe one more depending on what the actual picture is of. And then I put the others in the comment. And a key thing here, don't use the same bubble of hashtags for every post. Instagram has kind of slapped people on the wrist for this, and you can actually have your post hidden because they think you're spam. So just keep those things in mind, and maybe have a few bubbles of hashtags that go along with the different content you post. And then my other thing is going to hashtags and actually engaging on those. So find ones that pertain, the ones that you use for your posts. Go to those and click on some posts that kind of catch your eye and engage with people in there. This is a great way. So engaging. So before and after you post, spend that time to actually engage, because Instagram notices that you're actually on, and it kind of gives you your content preference. So like and comment on posts, like reply to comments in your direct message. Let your brand personality shine. Here on the right, I'm kind of showing you to go to like locations and your hashtags to search like Paducah. And this is great if you're wanting to connect with actually people locally to get them looking at your page. All right, last one is giveaways. This is a really great and quick way to grow your following. So whether you're announcing a new product, it's a new season, you have a new feature, like we had the 12 days of hot chocolate, and I really wanted to give it a good push. And so we did that. Make sure, to enter people to follow your page, and you have to, tag and share with friends. So it gains more exposure.
All right. So now we're going to talk about 3 key ways to grow your Facebook engagement and following for free. So let's jump into this. So method number 1 is make sure that you invite everyone who likes your post to also like your page. It's super simple. And I'm showing you an example of that here from Piper's page. So just click on the post. And there we go. So then you would click on the amount of people who have liked the post, and then just go through and make sure that you've invited all of them to like the page. Obviously, Amber does a great job because she's already done this. So that's a great way just to get free likes for your page, because if someone likes your post, then it's a good indicator they probably are interested in your page too. All right, Facebook growth method number 2 is make sure you like and reply to all comments left on your post. Facebook, of course, is social, right? So it likes it when you are social back with people who are engaging with you. So the more that you engage on a post, the better it's going to perform and the more reach Facebook is going to give to that post. So make sure you do that, and this can continue to what I call just push the post out. And the third growth method, number three, is encourage past customers to leave a review on your page and comment on every review. This is really helpful because, one, people like to see what people say about businesses. Even if you get a bad review, which happens to the best of us, just make sure that you go and you respond to that review in the best way possible, because oftentimes people are not so interested in what someone left as a bad review. They're interested in what you said in response to that review. So make sure that you do that for every single review that is left. I get asked sometimes, can you delete reviews? If it's a bad review, you cannot. So that is where it comes very handy to be able to go in and comment even to a bad review. So things to remember. First, consistency is key in finding the best time to post. So that's why you want to be consistent, because it's going to help you be able to figure out when your audience is online and when they are going to be most reactive to your post. Next, post content that truly represents your brand and connects with your target audience. Third, carve out time every day, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, and about 20 to 30 minutes after posting to do that engagement time. That's really when you can start pushing out those posts, getting better reach on your posts by doing it during those times. Next, use strong call to actions to get more engagement on your post. So you have to ask your audience what you want from them. So be very clear with that call to action. Like Amber said, like for the value-based posts, for sure, you want to ask questions and you want to promote the engagement on those posts. Next, have a strong hashtag strategy for Instagram, as Amber touched on. And next, use as many Instagram features as possible in IG stories. That's so very true that, anytime a platform comes out with some type of new feature, they want to see you use it. So therefore they are going to give you better reach, which means more people will see that post if you use those features. All right. And finally, don't try to do it all at one time. Be very social and smart, because again, at the core, it's social media. And so you have to engage with your audience and just really connect with them genuinely. All right. So that is our follower to customer framework. And we went through the create lesson, the connect lesson, and the cultivate lesson to ultimately help you turn your followers into customers. Okay, so we know that this is a lot of information. And of course, Amber and I could not go through everything that we love to teach small businesses to do on social media in this 1-hour training. But if you are interested and would like to join us and learn further about what we teach, we would love to have you in the academy. We do have an online course. It's completely go at your own pace, and it's step-by-step from beginning to finish what you need to do on social media. And I believe we are confident in saying that is the only educational resource that you need if you are a small, locally based or brick and mortar business. We truly have designed it based on Amber's experience, her experience with small businesses she's worked with, and then my experience with small businesses that I've worked with. So dozens and dozens of businesses have been impacted by our work, and we have seen lots of our students go and do amazing things with their social media and turn their followers into customers. And for joining us today, we are so appreciative that you're here. So we are going to give you 10% off if you decide to join us. You can use this code for both the payment plan or the full price offer. So just use the code library upon checkout and just go to thesocialguiders.com, and that's where you can find the course. But of course, if you guys have any other questions or any need some more information about the course, please don't hesitate to me or Amber. Of course, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook, and we would love to answer any of the questions you may have.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask. Thank you guys again for being here with us this evening. Yes. Okay. So thank you, Melanie, for your question. She asked, can you give an example of how a brand mission statement guides the brand? So, for instance, at the Foxbriar, our mission statement goes really into the experience, not just of coming in to have a cocktail, but enjoying craft cocktails in a relaxing, intimate environment. And so, in every post we do, and so all of our posts obviously go back to our brand of our focus on craft cocktails, wanting to offer people something different in a relaxing environment. And so, really, the mission statement talks about what you're offering and why it's different and how you're serving your people. So that kind of just goes into every post, I do. It's like you almost like sort of what's the word? You take that mission and you sort of like,
I say inspires.
yeah, it inspires like almost every post you do, and you sort of find different ways of saying the same thing of what you do in each post.
Yeah,
I find. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think I think that's perfect. That's your core of how you're going to serve your people, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing as a business. You're serving people. So I think that's important just to keep that as a mission statement in mind. So yeah, for sure.
How much time should you set aside daily for social media promo? Do you
Hmm.
mean like promo as in like engaging or creating content? Because like I said, I think the engagement piece, whether you post or not on a daily basis, I think it's really important to go into your platforms and still try and engage with people, whether you post it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just letting the app itself know as well that you are active, and that you're actually invested in speaking with people. Because you'll probably notice if you've posted, say you posted on a Monday and you didn't post for another week, you'll notice that your post probably doesn't get as many likes or as much reach, because you basically kind of told Instagram or Facebook, oh, I don't come here often. So there is something to be said that, of that consistency is really something that we really encourage with social media for small businesses.
I know personally, I'll tell it because I do understand small businesses or small business owners are very busy. So picking like 10 minutes, kind of like Amber said, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, and then sometimes like 10 minutes at lunch is a good time to check in on the post to make sure you didn't miss any engagement. You can also turn notifications on your phone, like through the Facebook Business app is really helpful. That way you get those instantly, so you can check them as they come in.
Yeah, and answer people's questions in a timely manner, because Facebook actually says how quickly you respond to questions.
Yep.
She asked, can you give a quick rundown of the different apps you use to help schedule your posts?
Yes.
We go actually in depth in the course on this.
We do.
Yeah.
We go pretty in depth and give some examples on this one. So I like to use OnlyPult. The reason I like OnlyPult, it's OnlyPult, is because it lets you schedule stories on Instagram. And it's one of the few that will let you do that without you having to actually physically push it through. So I like that one. And then I actually only will use Facebook Scheduler for Facebook. And there's a lot of theories out there, right? But I do believe that if you can post directly to the platform, it's better than going through a third-party scheduler. A third-party scheduler is really good, though, if you are using lots of different platforms. So if you have like 3 to 5 different platforms that you're wanting to post on, and you just don't have the time to do it in real time, which I understand, that's when a scheduler is good. But OnlyPult's good. Sprout Social is one that's really good too. It's one of the more expensive ones, but I really like it for its analytics. It's great. That was one of my favorites to use to send reports to clients. So if you are really a numbers person and like analytics, that's a good one. Like I said, Facebook has a good scheduler, so I just will post or schedule directly to Facebook. There's so many. Hootsuite's popular.
Yeah, Hootsuite's a really good one. I use for Instagram, Melanie, I use Planoly. So it's Plan and then OLY. And that lets you see a layout of your actual Instagram grid. So I'm kind of into that, the aesthetic of how things look. So it's really nice just to go in and be able to see it, and you can actually schedule from there as well.
And at the end of the day, because all small business owners, of course, are different. Everybody's different what they like and what they mesh with. So use a scheduler. You can use, most of them have free trials, but use the one that fits you best. Because if you don't like it, you're not going to use it. So, whatever it's going to take to get you to post consistently on social media, say go for it.
And a lot of these have free trials, so you can kind of like test it out and see what you like. Do you go into the specifics of using the back-end Facebook Business Suite in your course? Yes, we do a whole you do a video and walk everybody, walk people through it.
We do both. So if you want to optimize or set up your Instagram and Facebook profiles, we take you step by step. Everything that you need to do is included in that.
Yeah, like from scratch.
Yeah. And we also talk about Facebook ads in the course too, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. I know one of the things I was going to touch on was how to create posts. So one of the things too is and we have this as a bonus on our webinar. So if you go check out our free webinar, you'll find it there. But we get the question a lot about scheduling and how to create posts. So we teach how to create posts in bulk so that you're not so bogged down about having to do it. So
on a daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah. I teach how to do it in one day or less, once a month, so that it is one and done. I find that's helpful. And it's kind of based on what I have done too in my own business to be able to create lots of content for lots of clients each month. So that's always a question we tend to get.
Yes. And if you have any other questions that come to mind after this, or if you're watching this not live, but recorded, I know they're going to be putting it on YouTube. Just feel free to reach out. I know we're going to put all the links below in the video, so you can email us or find us on social media.
You can send us a DM.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a
great
wonderful
evening.
night. Take care.
Bye.